We straight. We straight. We back with another kid. Yes, sir. What's good with you, sir? What's good with you, sir?
Nothing. You made me do more work than I wanted to do.
Well, I mean,
I watched a bunch of receivers, and then I recorded a thing with Jesse Holly that's on my YouTube channel right now on Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy. And then while I'm doing that, Voch just texted, make sure you watch this guy. And so I had to watch this guy. And now I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've seen 9 wide receivers. I'm ready to find a wide receiver.
Likewise, sir. But Jeff, see, man, content kings ain't just something that you could just say. Content kings ain't just something you roll out the bed and just claim. It's something you gotta be, brother Jeff. You know what I mean? So I got 3, 4, 5, 6. So we going crazy, Jeff. 7, 8. Rasheed Rice. 9. I got 9 too, brother Jeff. Come on. And
you have a binder.
I got so look, Jeff. Let me tell you something, man.
You have a computer.
I'm trying to be like you, but you're a spreadsheet guy, right? And I don't fuck with spreadsheet guys.
Yeah, I just have a Google Doc for each year's draft notes.
Yeah, but I got all kind of dividers and shit.
Oh my God.
I'm extra, bro. We talking that shit this year, Jeff. What you do? Come on, man. I never do this because I want to take my craft seriously, man. I can't be in the ring with the best in the business with you, the broaduses, the belts, the helmets. I can't be in the ring with y'all and y'all get the prospect number 196 and I'm like, I think that's the motherfucker that do great thing. Nah, man, I gotta have some, you know what I mean?
And that's why you hit Control F. You're in your notes, you hit Control F.
That's fine. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
And then you type the name in, and it'll take you to the guy. And then you read the notes, and the notes say, "I hate him," and then that's who the Cowboys picked.
I don't know nothing about that shit. Okay, so Jeff, let me just run this by you since you just said that because that's a very interesting point that you said that, right? The last 2 years have been 2 years timeout. I'm Voch Lombardi from The Volume, by the way. This is Jeff Cavanaugh from 97.1 Free. Also find us at Voch Lombardi and Jeff Cavanaugh on YouTube's or whatnot. You also got a podcast with Jesse Holly on Believe Network. I just do shit on YouTube also, you know what I mean? So be sure, if you're from my side, go follow Jeff. If you're from Jeff's side, come rock with us. Jeff, one last thing before we get into wide receivers today, because that's what we're talking about, right? And it ain't got to be Cowboy specific. I know we got mostly Cowboy fans, so we can get into that. But we're just watching wide receivers in general. I just got one quick Cowboy question, but before we move on to wide receivers. So the Cowboys, the last 2 years, we look at dudes that they draft. And it wasn't like pre-draft, we were just losing our minds over this guy, whether it be Tyler Smith, regardless of who was on the board that we liked, or Micah Parsons, regardless of whoever it is on the board that we like. I think development has a big piece in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because when we watch these players, I mean, I'm just going back to Tyler Smith right now, dudes be raw as hell on film, Jeff. Be raw as shit. Like Tyler put hands on people's back and hug them and get 15 or so holding penalties, but still block the shit out of them, right? How much, when we're doing Cowboys evaluation, knowing that we have a coaching staff, knowing that we have the development team, the peanut butter, right? How much do you account for that when we talk about drafting raw players that we may or may not like? Because you said
that sounds like you just don't want to say that we were wrong, and I'm fine with that. I like never being wrong. Tyler Smith definitely. Well, no, yeah, Tyler Smith played better than I would have thought he would have played as a rookie. Yeah, and we can give the Cowboys and him credit for that and just say, look, we're going to tell you what we see from guys while they're in college and what they're good at and what they're not good at and what hopefully they get better at. And Tyler Smith was definitely technically better than I thought he would be in the NFL early out of the gate. So I don't know that I would put the faith in that the Cowboys are going to do that with all of their players, but I don't know. I think it's a player thing too. Like that's one of the things we're not going to get to watch. We're going to talk about wide receivers, and I can tell you that one of them that we're going to talk about, and he might be the best one in the draft, might be the 7th one picked.
Zay Flowers. But my whole point on that though, Jeff, is like I don't think we were wrong about Tyler Smith. Everybody said the same shit about Tyler Smith. We can't account for the shit that you do between draft and training camp. You know what I'm saying? Like that's on you. So the dude that you get fresh out the box. We right about that. We have accounted for the idea that Tyler Smith has technique issues. But if you go to the Duke Manyweather super school of super powerful O-lineman and he fixed all that shit in 2 weeks, we can't be held accountable for that. You know what I mean? So
your friend, that's your friend. That's your friend, Duke.
I love Duke. So with that being said, though, Jeff, does that moving forward, because you just said, does the Cowboys draft somebody that we don't like? If the Cowboys draft somebody that we don't like, and they go to one of these super off-season schools, Michael went to one too, right? And the same one Jamar Chase and Jason Owe and all them boys went to. If they go to the super duper school, I think as Cowboy draft evaluate people, we have to account for the idea that they could take raw players like fucking Sam Williams. They could take raw players like that and develop them fast enough to make them day one ready. When I didn't think they was going to be day one ready.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that goes into the part that it's hard for you to know when you watch tape is we don't know who they are. Like, we can read what people write about them and hear what people say about them who covered them. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of putting this thing together based on what they show me when they play football. But if you then learn about a guy that, oh, by the way, this guy is going to be at Exos and this guy is going to be at fill in the blank, it does give you the ability to kind of keep tabs on them because we got people there. And so, yeah, I think that's something that you're not going to get on tape. It's something that we can't account for. But if you know that somebody is working somewhere, you can know, oh, shit, I know the guy that runs that place and they do good work. And that's probably going to be really helpful to him.
So let's cut all this BS out, man. We put in the titles and we told the good people that they was going to come here and get some wide receiver work. So let's get into the wide receiver work. You said something very interesting, Jeff. You said the best dude in the draft may be the seventh dude drafted or whatever, right? And we run into a lot of these obstacles, during draft. See, whether dudes go to small schools, whether they're short, or whether these other guys kind of get draft hype or whatever. I don't think there's a Jamar Chase type character in this draft, but that doesn't mean that they're not good receivers in this draft. And to be fair, if we just talking from a Cowboys idea, right, we're not really looking for like a star. We just need somebody that's like better than Noah Brown that could be a dude that we can rely on. You know what I mean? You have Keenan Allens, but you also have your Mike Williamses, right? Your these Mike Williams guys aren't Jamar Chasey, like, you know what I mean? But they're still reliable dudes. So I do think there's going to be a lot of reliable wide receiver 2 complementary type guys, even wide receiver 1s, depending on how you feel. Who's is Zay Flowers your best dude that's going to be drafted, the 7th guy, Jeff?
No.
Oh, okay. Actually, oh shit. Okay, no. Cool. You ain't talking about Downs, are you? Not talking about Downs, right?
No.
Okay, fine, cool. Who is your best guy that's going to be taking 7th? We're going to run across all of these guys, but we'll cross the road whenever we get there. Hyatt's a guy?
No.
Damn. Okay. Who's your guy? Jeff, the wide receiver whisperer. Who is your best guy that's going to be drafted 7th?
Hold on. I'm trying to find these super chats as they pop up instead of getting behind this time.
Cool.
I don't know if Jason's was on mine or yours. He said not a draft question, but I'm curious about this. When teams have press conferences, are reporters prepped and told what they can ask? No, but they are occasionally told something that they're not going to talk about before they go. Sure. Like in Jerry's case, but he doesn't want to talk about the kneeling. Yeah. Who is the Duke Manyweather of wide receivers? D-Rob always opens a good dude. I don't know who else there is though. Okay, anyway. Keyshawn Boutte.
Come on, Jeff. I told you, watch that motherfucker. Jeff, let me tell you something, man. Yo, Jeff, I needed you because you the wide receiver whisperer. Cause listen, man, I said on Twitter, I don't know if you saw it because you a busy man and you was podcasting. I said on Twitter, I was like, look, man, Boutte. I don't want to call him Boutte, whatever the motherfucking name is, right? He is the George Pickens of this year, where you can't watch one, like not like skill set. He's a bad motherfucker, but you can't watch 1 year film. You can't just watch last year's film or this year's film and be like, oh, I know who this dude is. You got to go back. You got to be surgical. You got to scan. You got to find it. I know it's going to be some off the field shit. I know it's going to be a lot of people saying he don't love football. It's going to be a lot of people saying that dude a diva, but Jeff Cavanaugh, that son bitch can play. And when you sent me the list and you didn't have his name on it, I was like, Jeff, I'm losing my mind over this kid from LSU. I need you to put the jelly on the sandwich, Jeff. And you need to squeeze this motherfucker in before we go live.
So I just watched him play Alabama this year. I didn't go back to last year.
Please, that's the best film. Go ahead.
And he didn't even have big numbers in the game either. But like when I'm watching a receiver, it was a lot easier and faster when I had the cheat codes, which was the cut ups, where I just had every target of a guy and that boom, done. But just watching him over the course of a game after having already watched the top 8 wide receivers, like he has everything physically. Like he's full size, but he separates. He'll go get it.
Ball
He's
skill.
hell after the catch. He's fluid. He's fast. He's quick.
Yeah.
He has everything. But that's why I tweeted to Brian Broaddus and Dave Hellman, who are LSU men. Like, I don't know what happened this year to him, but on tape, he's as good or better than anybody in this class. And even LSU guys are like, yeah, be careful there. Just like, yeah, be careful. So it's going to be one of those guys where I'm just going to say on tape, he's as good as anybody in the class. But everyone who knows anything about it is going to be like, yeah, checks in and out, tons of ability, don't know about him, blah, 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 blah. Tape says he can play.
So, Jeff, I ain't ready to say it yet because I'm a coward. And you know what I mean? It just takes me a lot of time to get shit like this done. You know what I mean? That motherfucker might be the best receiver in the class, Jeff. You know what I'm saying?
He has the best tape that I've seen.
Sure. Because he does everything, right? Like everybody does something, but they don't do a lot of other shit. Like for most of these receivers I've watched, I don't even think they use the route tree in college no more. Like dudes just be like getting open and they just do yak things or whatever, right?
Booty only runs like 4 routes.
He only run like 4 routes too.
Jalen Hyatt only runs 3 or 4 routes.
Right. That way, motherfucker. Go
that way, or stay here, or go that way,
or cross. Yeah. Listen, bro, I'm watching this boutique kid, and I think a lot of it is just the coaching staff ain't rocking with him, so the usage ain't there. You know what I mean? But I just started thinking about, like, man, what if he was just at LSU a couple years ago? What if he had a Joe Burrow type cat? What if he had an Ed Ogeron coach that didn't he was just all about winning? You know what I mean? It wasn't no politics and nothing like that. That dude's probably the most talented dude on this list of dudes, Jeff. And I know you the wide receiver whisperer, and you had to squeeze this dude in prior to us talking about him. Now, off the field stuff, man, it's subjective. I know he got into a little orgy with some coaches and some other, department people.
Didn't even know that.
Yo, man, they athletes, dog. What you mean? The highest paid wide receiver coach in the country, 3 other recruiting executives, and 1 other cat and him. They had a little orgy with this chick that was in the recruiting department.
That's a lot of guys for one person.
I'm saying orgy to be correct and fair. I'm saying orgy to be correct and fair.
They haven't. It doesn't matter. I don't even want to know.
But it wasn't like a consent issue, and it wasn't like somebody got punched in the face issue. It was just we had a wild ass night. My wide receiver coach was there. I was there. 3 other. You know what I mean? It was just one of them. But I'm fine with that though. But I'm fine with that. That ain't really character strike to me. You know what I mean? You just know how to have a good time. Some of my favorite football players of all time know how to have a good time. But I think the off the field issue that coach is really going to get bothered about is that he checks out, or that he's not all the way all in. He may be a diva guy. And I feel like if you can harness all that, that's the best wide receiver in the draft, Jeff.
Yeah, that's the ifs of this game is you can take the guy that you say, hey, on tape he's better than everybody else, and you go, okay, how hard is he going to work? And does he want to be here? Does he care? Is he going to keep getting better, or is he still what he was when he was 18 years old? Blah 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 blah. And that's all the stuff that's hard for us to know. But this is going to be the one dude in the draft that pretty much everybody's like, yeah, just be careful. So I'm just going to throw it out there every time while saying on tape, that son of a bitch can play. By the way, this super chat from Stadia said, does moving on from Kellen mean the offense will be different language, route concepts? And do you think that hurts or helps a guy like Tolbert? You have no idea. In theory, Mike McCarthy's always been West Coast. So every play where they run 4 curls now, just picture it being 2 shoots and 2 slants. And then maybe there's no option routes. And if Jalen Tolbert can't handle the playbook, maybe it's easier. I don't know. Maybe. But what we are not going to do on Scoutcast is pretend that the Cowboys can run this back with CD, Gallup, and Tolbert, because that is cocky, and cocky gets you killed in football.
That shit is negligent. So, Jeff, I understand what you said. 7th dude taken or whatever, right? I saw somebody on social media. They also said, oh, I wouldn't touch him till the 4th round. Fuck off, man. These goddamn scouts ain't gonna let that dude fall to the 4th round. Like, that dude is talented, Jeff. So I'm thinking could be late first. Could be, you know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, it all depends on the stuff that we don't know what teams are going to think about him. And like, are there teams that would rather take somebody that they just feel more comfortable with? Like Oh, we can go through all these guys, but like the guy that I feel most confident saying as a rookie he's going to have 50 or 60 catches is Jackson Smith-Njigba. Like he's the guy that I don't think he's going to test great. He's not huge. He's just good.
I'm confused about him, but
he's just good.
We'll talk about him. Yeah.
It's almost like, and I don't think he's this good, but it's almost like Justin Jefferson. We're watching him at LSU. His job was kind of simple and he was in the slot and it was like, yeah, he got open and yeah, he caught the ball and that's good. That's nice. But that's what Smith-Njigba does is it's just, does he get open? Uh-huh. Does he go get the ball? Uh-huh. He'll do it.
You know,
like, how'd he get open? Well, he knows what he's doing. He's not super fast. He's not super quick. He's not huge. He just knows how to get open and he's going to make plays.
And that's kind of my problem with him, Jeff. Did you want to move on from Boutte real fast to getting to Jackson?
Oh no, I don't know. I'm just
okay, cool. Hold that point. I just don't want with this whole Boutte thing, right? I don't want to be naive enough to have another George Pickens situation happen to us, Jeff, to where we go, oh well, Pickens will be there in the second round for us, and at the end of the second round, he'll be fine. I think if you gonna get a dude like Boutte, I think you got to go get him, Jeff. Do you feel comfortable taking a off the field issue, but could be the best wide receiver in the draft dude at 26 though, Jeff?
No, I don't. No, I would just see if the league was going to let me get lucky and get him the next time around, and then it'd be too good. Then it would be a Cowboy special where it's too good to pass up. It goes Randy Gregory style.
You can't get agree with these dudes though, Jeff. Can't get agree with
because here's the other thing. That's one name, George Pickens, who's off to a nice start. But the other name would be Kadarius Toney, who it literally took being traded 2.5 years into his career to Pat Mahomes to get him going. And that's the other possible outcome, is that you're just sitting there going, crap.
But Kadarius Toney in Florida ain't this motherfucker though. Kadarius Toney in Florida ain't this guy. I just see it in him, Jeff. I see, and I could be wrong. But if you Mike McCarthy and it's a do or die season for you anyway, you know your offense needs something, I'm going to get that kid Boutte. So back to your man's Jackson Smith-Njigba. Yep. What you just said about him is kind of my problem with him, right? Because I'm watching him and I'm having that problem. And my problem watching, like college wide receivers is one question I always ask is how much of this are you doing by yourself, right? How much of this is manufactured by the offense? How much of this is your quarterback's fantastic? How much of this are you doing? Because you say Jackson Smith-Njigba, I can go back and think about how Paris Campbell was looking in the draft process. You know what I mean? Big play Paris Campbell. We featured him. We fed it to him. Dwayne Haskins was good for college, and he ends up being a big play guy. Not saying that Jackson Smith-Njigba is the same thing as Paris Campbell. I just want to know how much of this are you doing yourself? Like if Jackson Smith-Njigba, if his big thing is I make big plays, and we can't take that away from him, Jeff, that motherfucker make big plays. But just like you said, I have no clue how he make big plays, Jeff. He don't strike me as a route runner. I don't think he's big. He's speed guy, but
I think he is a route runner.
Okay, go on.
I think it's weird because there's different. Sometimes you don't really have the words for it, but I'll try my best.
I agree. I don't know what the fuck to say about this moment.
Right, like in this class, we'll talk about Jordan Addison at USC. Right, he's like 6 foot, 180 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, guy.
And you see the quickness and the separation, and so you think of him as a good route runner when I don't know that he really is a good route runner. He strikes me more like Deontay Johnson was in college, where it's what I would call a good route runner. But I think an NFL receiver coach would be like, that's too loosey-goosey. But I'm like, no, but he's getting open. He's getting separation because he's quick and the change of direction and the setup. Whereas Smith-Njigba, I think, is more that he's doing it technically right. It's like, I'm going to get to this leverage point, and then this foot's going to go on the ground. I'm going to beat you with my hands. And I think that he is a really good and precise route runner. And so to me, route runner can mean it, I guess, two different ways. One is the dude who it's like Antonio Brown, one of the best route runners ever, even though technically maybe he wasn't. It was just that he was manipulative and could wiggle it and mess you up that way. Whereas
so he's polished.
Keenan Allen is a great route runner that doesn't have those things. And so like the Smith-Njigba, the way I would kind of compare him is I was too low on Justin Jefferson because I didn't give him enough credit because I was like, yeah, he gets open, but he doesn't look. I don't know. There was just there. And the other guy who was kind of the same thing, who I think I had as a second or maybe even a third round guy, was Amon-Ra St. Brown was the same way.
Sure.
He wasn't a burner. He
No.
wasn't big. He just got open and caught the ball. And he got to the NFL and he did the same damn thing.
Sure. Get it done, guy. And it's hard to evaluate get it done guys, man. You know what I mean? So I'm currently struggling with him. Because like when I watch Jordan Addison from USC, I can see how routes help him. I can see his yak ability. I can see, him in open. So like I can see how that works. Jalen Hyatt, right? Who's also a guy that's deep ball guy, but you can see that dude changing gears on film. You know what I'm saying? Like you see when he's faster than you, that he's faster than fucking air. Like you see that transition. I guess I'm struggling with Jackson Smith-Njigba. I need to call this motherfucker JSN or something. I don't know. I'm struggling with Njigba because I just need to know how it's getting done. And we've been bitten by system gets me open guys. But we also live in this world where depending on the coordinator that you go to in the league, they can be the ones that, that take your not so good at somethingness and make you really good at what you're really good at. So I'm not saying Jackson Smith-Njigba's trash and nothing like that. I'm just saying I'm having a hard time with him. But it's fucking January and we got till April to figure this thing out. So it's no problem. Did you have anything on Jordan Addison before we go to the next guy, Jeff?
Jordan Addison, wiggly route runner, awful run blocker, but super willing. He's just little. I said shades of a smaller Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't jump out at me as being super explosive, but he is super smooth and like his stop and go and the wiggle and the easy hands. After the catch, all that stuff works the exact same as it does while you're running routes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's good. I think this class is
it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, like it's going to be 8 guys that I want to pick at number 50 overall, and maybe none that I want to pick at 26.
Yeah.
Like I do think if you put anybody from this year in last year's class, Wilson I would have as a better prospect.
Yeah, for sure. London.
What was my order? London I would probably have as a better prospect than any of them.
Yeah.
Olave I was probably too low on, but he would be in the mix with these top guys, and he's probably better than that.
Treylon
Burks would probably be my top guy in this class.
You mix in with these guys, sure.
So it's a bunch of good dudes, and that's why watching Kayshon Boutte, that's why watching him, my eyebrows kind of went, huh?
That motherfucker play, Jeff.
Because just watching him move, I was like, that's the one dude that if you told me that's going to be an NFL number 1 receiver, I'd go, oh, I see it.
Yeah.
And all the other guys, I'm like, yeah, I want him on my team, but I don't know that I see a number 1 in any of them.
Sure. Something's weird about these guys, Jeff. I think they're all yak guys in their own. Well, not all, but most of them are yak guys in their own right, and they all do things kind of different. But what's strange about them is that they all the same height, but they all look different sizes. You know what I mean? Like Jordan Addison, 6 foot. Jackson Smith-Njigba is somehow 6'1". He don't look 6'1" to me on film. It's another guy like Kayshon Boutte is supposed to be 6 foot. Jalen Hyatt is 6 foot. You know what I mean? Anytime I hit him day, like all these dudes generally look the same height to me. Well, they're all the same height technically on paper, but they all look different on film. You know what I mean? Have you noticed that?
Did you watch the SMU guy?
Rice.
Yeah.
Well, he's different. That's why I didn't say his name.
I was gonna say, well, he's technically 6'1", but I was gonna say that's a thick boy.
He plays big. He plays big, unlike Quentin Johnson, who's bigger than him, who plays like he's supposed to be smaller.
He plays big when the ball's in the air.
Okay, sure. Okay, so my thing about Quentin Johnson, he plays big when he's high point, right? I also think that he plays big when he's kind of running, like, it's hard to tackle him, like he kind of plays big or whatever. But he still tries to be a little more shifty than what he is, and I do think he's shiftier for a taller guy. But I actually wrote this down, Jeff. I like when we write, like when we say what we wrote down, and it's like a weird sentence. Go ahead.
You ever seen? He's crazy because he's 6'4".
Sure.
And he never gets lower than that. Like even coming off the line, he never gets his pads down at all. And I'm just like, are you ever gonna? And nope, he's always straight up and down.
since you mentioned on the line, and I think that's why people jam the shit out of him. I wrote down he's fine when he has free releases. He's fine when you give him a lot of space. But Michigan gave him a lot of problems at the line of scrimmage, and then I just kept watching, and then I was like, oh, never mind. K-State did the same shit at the line of scrimmage, right? So I guess he's gonna be. I'm big, but I don't get off the line of scrimmage with physicality guy. Is that going to be a problem for you, Jeff? Is that keeping him from being the number one guy? Is that something you can keep out of?
I struggle with big receivers now. I fear the big receiver.
Yeah.
Like, could he be T. Higgins or Mike Williams?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't even know a big dude that can't separate now. I can't even name one, for example, Jeff.
I mean, he's like,
Little Jordan Humphrey, you know what I mean? Like one of them big dudes that got to play nickel or something. I don't know.
I think that Quentin Johnston is fast. I think he is, but it's always hard to tell with the long striders.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't get open if you play press coverage and you try to stay in his pocket. He's not going to get open, but he will moss you.
Mm-hmm.
He can't really separate except when you give him that free release, and then if he's working across the field or deep across the field or deep down the field, you're dead and he's going to go take the ball from you. And he is good after the catch, even though he's 6'4", like he can make it work.
Yeah.
So like I get it, there's a lot of good there, but yeah, I'm with you. Like 6'4" and at the line, not being able to physically like dominate people. I'm like, kick his ass, throw him, like get him out of here. But he just kind of tries to be nifty with it. So like I get it, and I see the good tools. And if you told me I could have him in the second round, I'd say, hell yeah, dude, that's a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But if you told me at 26, I'd be like, I don't know, like Josh Dotson was mossing people at TCU too, but I don't know. I struggle with big guys now. I want you to get open. I want you to route people up. That's what I want in my receivers.
So are you having trouble with Rashee Rice from SMU?
Maybe putting him in order, but I really like him.
Size, tough catches, ball skills for days, Joe.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I did struggle a little bit in terms of like I'm watching him and I'm like, sometimes I think he can't get a release to save his life. And then the next two, he destroys a dude in two different ways. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So he does have that in the bag.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think he's not really trying. And then he realizes the quarterback threw the ball to him. And so he just beats the shit out of a dude and goes and gets the ball. Yeah. I think Rashee Rice at SMU is super physically gifted, tough. I like him. Like, I'm just going to, after we finish talking about every single one of these guys, and be like, man, I'd like him at 50, whatever.
Third.
I'd like him. Rashee Rice is a baller.
I'm just so big on can you run? Can you run and can you separate? You know what I mean? And if I'm talking Cowboy land, it's enough motherfuckers that don't separate already. And Dak ain't going to throw the ball to you unless you wide the hell open something. You know what I mean? So I just don't see where he, like, you know, if you're a quarterback that does, you know, 50-50 ball thing, you know, I'm gonna give you a shot. Like if you that kind of team, whatever, I can see it happening. But if you're one of them dudes that requires separation from your wide receiver, I'm not seeing it from Rashee Rice. But it's college tape. I love it. I love his college tape. But he's just gonna have to show me in the pros, you know. Hold on, Jeff. You're muted. Hello.
My bad. I agree. No, all these offenses are super weird.
Yeah.
None of these offenses tell you what's going to happen in the NFL.
Yeah, it's weird shit, man. You know what
like,
I mean?
Jalen Hyatt is the most wild. I'm like, oh, I feel like I've seen this before with the old Baylor wide receivers. Sometimes half the field stands still and doesn't move because they know they're not getting the ball. And if you are going to run a route, it's either going to be a 2-yard out or run as far as you can, or occasionally gets to run across the field, but you don't get to see a lot.
Jalen Hyatt, 6 foot. He's another slim guy. They got him down as 185. We'll see what that is. But out of all the I run deep ball fast guys, like he's probably the fastest out of all of them, huh? Like he
looks like Deshaun Jackson. Like
yeah.
He was the one guy that so when I knew I was going to be watching a Tennessee wide receiver, it was the first receiver I watched. I thought it was going to be Jalen Hyatt, but I was watching the wrong guy.
He ain't good.
And it turned out I watched Tillman.
He ain't good.
Well, if he ain't good, then that Ringo Georgia corner needs to go in the 6th round because he kicked his ass.
That happens. Ringo Buchanan.
But no, like, and I think he's just okay. Like, I think he's probably a 3rd or 4th round guy.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, once I realized Hyatt was the guy who doesn't wear socks and is skinny and plays the slot and runs real fast, it was like, holy shit.
Can't miss him.
No,
miss him. Yeah.
no, because and now this is another thing with college wide receivers that it's hard to pretend it's going to be the same in the pro game because it's not.
Sure.
Part of what Jalen Hyatt gets is he's the fastest guy in the field.
Yes.
And they will have the ball on the right hash, and the hashes are way wider in college.
Yes.
And so you will send a receiver way out to the sideline, 600 yards that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jalen Hyatt is standing basically in the middle of the field.
Yep.
And if you're playing man, he has literally 10 to 15 yards each direction, and you got no help. And it's like everybody's dead in the water at that point. And in the NFL, you just don't have that much room. Yeah. But running that fast plays, and he's not just running fast. He'll track it. He can catch it. He's quick and fast. I think Hyatt's probably a top 50 pick. And so this is just going to be a cap and trade down year. That's what it's going to be. You're going to trade down from 26 to 30 something. And then I can pick whichever receiver I want, and I have an extra pick. Got it.
I think Jalen Hyatt kind of being, in my personal opinion, he's kind of one trick ponyish. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a trick, though. That's a fucking trick, Jeff.
Well, you get a second trick. The screen game counts as a trick.
Sure. I just think he's really good at what he does, and that's getting behind people. But I think if teams start to account for that, then you can kind of take them away from that. But I don't know, man. Tennessee just they did a lot of interesting things this year, with their offense and how they got dudes open or whatever. But Jalen Hyatt, he looks like a long dude. He's 6 foot like everybody else. You know what I mean? But hey, he just gets it done. And I'm always weary of these I run fast that way guys unless they got wiggle, like the thing that separates a Waddle from a Henry Ruggs. You know what I'm saying? I like.
What if they score 5 touchdowns against Bama?
I know. I know. Like what else is it? You know what I mean?
What do you want from me?
What else is it? But drafting him with the understanding, okay, yeah, this dude's gonna be like a complimentary guy that'll come in and be like my wide receiver too, that takes the top off the defense. Yeah, I can live with a Jalen Hyatt on my team. Now, 26, no. But in the 50s somewhere, we can talk about Jalen Hyatt.
I think Jalen Hyatt will have some stat lines in the NFL that will look like Will Fuller, Deshaun Jackson. Like, you're going to have Hyatt games where you're going to be like, what did he do today? And you're going to be like, oh, he had 2 catches. And they'll be like, oh, really? You'd be like, yeah, 2 catches for 91 and a touchdown. You're like, oh, okay.
Yep. Fair enough. Speedy, bursty, gets behind everybody. Goddamn, look at that second gear. We have some little bitty dudes too, Jeff. We have some slot guys that the Cowboys probably not going to look at because they little bitty, but they damn good. Josh Downs and Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers a bunch. You know what I mean? Because that motherfucker just and I'm just falling for the yak guy now. I'm falling for the route guys. I'm falling for the yak guys, and it's hard to tackle that little motherfucker. You know what I mean? And I discovered this type of yak guy because I'm not a wide receiver guru like Jeff Cavanaugh is. But I like these guys to where they don't always get their yak guy, but like running over people. But I'm just gonna go this way and I'm gonna stop for 2 seconds and just barely miss you and get back on my track. But he's not like I don't think he's gonna test that way. I don't think he's gonna get the super good cone numbers and all that, the super good 10 splits and all that, but I think his tape is going to carry him for the most part. And he may fall. And the motherfuckers, he's 5'9", I believe. He's
little. He's definitely little, and he's definitely light.
He's 5'9", little bitty, but that some bitch got ball skills, that some bitch can play, man. So I like Zay Flowers a lot. I don't think my team's going to like him necessarily, but I would love to have him.
I think there'll be teams that'll be scared of him because he's tiny, and being tiny kind of lets you be quick, but my God. Like even the North Carolina guy Downs, I like him. But if you watch them back to back, and they're both smaller guys, I think Downs is a little bit thicker. But Flowers change of direction and you can't touch me is absurd. Like he is a freak show. He is really fun to watch. They're gonna let somebody who does bits get him. He's gonna be a 49er or a Chief. And he's going to end up with 4 carries and 3 catches and 4 broken tackles every week. And he's going to be a nuisance to everybody. But
makes me sick, Jeff Cavanaugh.
I love Flowers. I love him.
Yeah. And I watched them all the way to like 2020. You can tell when you really like a guy when you go like 3 years back. I went to go watch all the film on that son because he's just fun and he gets it done. But I just know my team personally. I just know Cowboys ain't gonna love him. You know what I mean? Just like my guy last year from it was a play for a blue team, play for like Buffalo or something like that. He's with the Bills. He's definitely with fucking Buffalo now. Shakir.
Oh, Khalil Shakir.
Here, right? Just these dudes that I just love and college, but just man, my team ain't gonna do the right thing, bro. My team ain't gonna be, they're not gonna be fun. They're not gonna get the best football players. They're gonna follow metrics, and I think
You already got him, Voch. You have Cavante Turpin. You don't
oh
need
well,
him.
oh well, we're not gonna throw to him unless it's the last goddamn play of the season, brother.
Put him on the field.
And throw that mug and get him killed in the open fild, playboy.
They'll put Dennis Houston out there before they'll put little people out there.
Yeah, man, I'm not going for that. Who else did you watch, Jeff? Did you have anybody else on your mind or on your notes?
Let me see. Addison, smith-njigba, Quentin Johnston, Flowers, Hyatt, Rashee Rice, Downs, and then I watched the other Tennessee guy, Tillman.
Yeah, man. Tillman wasn't the guy to me. Let me see if I can make this work. Can I make this work?
I watched him on accident. He was fine. He's a big body dude that isn't going to separate, but my God, Ringo had trouble covering him in the Georgia game.
Jeff, look at this motherfucker, man. Look at this.
Who are we watching? Is this going to get us unmonetized? You going to get us in trouble?
Look, we good. Zay Flowers, man. Look.
Whoop.
Look at this motherfucker, Zay. Just start and stop, bro. Just start and stop. And I don't think he's gonna test well at all, bro. Like it's just man. And I had 332. Let me ask you this, Jeff. While we just looking at Zay Flowers just marveling over some of his handiwork. When do you think the first wide receiver is coming off the board? Because I think it's a weird year for that. Like I just don't think there's gonna be like a top 10 guy. Like I think 15 may be the earliest like somebody comes off the field, bro.
Oh yeah, I think he could go as far as 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't like who's the first one taken.
Yeah. So you think it's possible for the Cowboys to possibly get the number one rated wide receiver in this draft? And do you trade up for him if that guy's there for you, Jeff?
No, I don't think so, unless you think there's a big difference. Because I think that's a mistake people make is trading up for non-quarterbacks because they're so arrogant about how good they think they are at scouting. Just wait on the next guy; you'll be fine. But yeah, I guess this year everybody is so different.
Yeah.
But I could see Quentin Johnston being the first receiver. I could see Jordan Addison being the first receiver. I could see smith-njigba being the first receiver. If somebody loves Booty, I could see him being the first receiver, but I just feel like there's going to be so much talk about off the field that he'll be at end of the first or somewhere in the second guy.
Voch Lombardi loves Booty. Now, Jeff, look at this. I pulled this shit for you, Jeff. I pulled this play for you, sir. I pulled this fucking play for you, sir. And after this, we can read we can read supers and go home. I pulled this for you, Jeff. Why we can't have this dude to put him at slot, dog? Yeah, I can love this kid.
And CD's playing in the slot.
Oh no.
Because CD's playing in the slot, and I like that. But I want somebody who could line up anywhere. If Addison could make it to 26, that'd be fun.
He make it 26.
I don't think smith-njigba has to play the slot, but I do think that's best for him.
It probably will be. All right, read your supers, Jeff. You can go ahead and do your thing.
Oh,
man.
I don't know. Did I miss them? I thought I was doing them as it was going.
Oh, well, if you ain't got no, come on, man. Look at this motherfucker. Look at one last one. I'm gonna go read mine. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't think anyone loves me. Let me scroll down.
Why y'all hating on Jeff so much, man? Quit playing. Let me go find some supers then for me. We left off this morning. We had Guillotine. He said, "Who's the Duke Manyweather of wide receivers?" Yeah, you read that one. So let's see. What's today? The 30th. Scoutkast, Guillotine. Okay, cool. Eternal Dynasty dropped a deuce and says Devin Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois, best cornerback in the draft. Too soon for me, player, but I will get there at some point. Appreciate you. And Smoke One for you. Drop 5 says, Voch, I got a name for you. I bet you do. Not sure if he's available in the later rounds. Jaquan Johnson from Tulane. Too soon for me. My goodness, speed and route runner. Wow. Appreciate y'all for contributing to the Voch Lombardi super chat. You have something else, Jeff?
Here, because I'm the king of the mock draft. Give us a quick 2-round mock off the dome, Jeff. Yeah, no problem. First round, Bijan Robinson. Second round, Rashee Rice. Bam! Look at that offense. Let's go.
I hate that. I hate that because I don't have faith that Rice is gonna take my wide receiver core over the top, and I think
Jalen Hyatt in the second round. Let's be optimistic. How about Flowers?
You can fuck with some Hyatt or a Booty in the goddamn. Come on, man.
Thank you, Eric, in the super chat. Thank you, Smoke.
Jeff just lied to y'all, man. Jeff ain't trying to draft a running back at 26, man. Jeff lying to y'all, man.
Who Kiwi? I don't even know who that's to, but yeah.
There you go, man. Do your thing. That
Shout
ain't
out
for
to
me.
you. I forgot what I was saying.
That's for you, bro.
I would take Bijan Robinson at 26.
Sure.
I would do it.
Yeah.
And I hate running backs.
Chat, do y'all have any? And I'm not taking Bijan at 26. No, sir. Chat, do y'all have any questions before we dip up out of here and get something to eat? Because me and Jeff tired as hell. Jeff been up since 6. I've been up not at 6, but
5:30.
5:30 because he started 6.
I missed the beginning. Did you discuss number 8, Xavier Hutchinson? No, not yet. I am 9 receivers in. I'll do 9 more in the next 2 days, and then I'll move on to a different position.
Oh, Jeff, we doing offensive line next week, sir. We did.
I don't do line. I don't do line.
I don't do wide receivers. I don't do wide receivers, motherfucker, but I did today because Jeff said so.
I'll ask Voch questions about the offensive line, guys. Let him find me a guy. It'll be good.
That is madness, bro. Chat, if that is all y'all got for us, y'all know we love y'all to pieces, man. Me and Jeff are gonna try to stick to this schedule. Marco Salazar dropped the deuce and says Marvin Mims tape speaks for himself. I think that's the Oklahoma guy. Haven't seen him, but
yeah, I haven't seen Mims yet, but he's very close to the top of the next list.
Yeah, for sure. Me and Jeff are gonna try to do this every Monday. It ain't gonna always be every Monday because Jeff got shit going on. Jeff got friends. I ain't got friends, but you know what I'm saying? Well, Jeff is my friend, but he over there. But yeah, we're gonna try to do every Monday for y'all. So be sure you write us into the schedule that Monday evenings, right around 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing Scoutcast. Jeff, you got some money to get like a read or something?
I don't think so. Oh crap.
Gambling.
It's too late. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But the guy who said, Jeff, is there a reason you're live twice? Yeah, because I'm not real sure what I'm doing a lot of times. And so, hopefully it all works out. That's
Jeff,
it.
Jeff just added all this shit. But it's cool though. We're gonna work on it to get right. Jeff ain't got got nothing to sell to y'all, but Voch has manscaped.com. They got a new beard trimmer, the hedge trimmer, man. It's fantastic. That joint is an internal length adjustment system inside of it with 20 different links all in one trimmer. Use promo code VOCH20 for 20% off and free shipping. Also, if you want some shirts, go to trueclassictees.com and use promo code VOCH to get 25% off. And if you spend $100, you get free shipping. And use VOCH65 at HelloFresh.com to get 65% off of your first purchase. Go over there, check them out. They do some good work. I feel like I'm missing somebody. True Classic, Manscaped. I don't really rock with Ventura. Ventura ain't give me a second check. I ain't fucking with them.
I don't think in my read, if I don't do it in the first 15 minutes, then, I could probably say it and get away with it, but I'm just not going to worry about it. And I'm just going to tell people to remember that you don't know what people are going through, to be cool to everybody, and I love you, be easy. That's all I'm going to do.
Hey, man, Doski, Wilson, Peasky, Whiskey. Me and Jeff ain't got an elaborate intro or nothing like that. We